Young individuals who happened to be residing in Houston during the time when whispers of a Pimp C recording were circulating are quite familiar with who the topic of discussion really was. And if you know, you definitely know. Now, let the suspenseful drum rolls begin for the reveal of the individual at the center of it all, none other than the iconic Beyoncé, allegedly.
All I can tell you, there was a famous R&B chick, and it was a guy that was getting money at the time. And, you know, Pimp, he used to be in the studio. And every now and then he'd have a camcorder, so he was able to get some footage. And he wanted to do something with the footage, but I don't know why he didn't do nothing with it, but if I could have got a hold of that tape, I'd be a billionaire, man. Whoever it was, they would have to kill me, man. I know TMZ would have paid a bank for that one, man. But yeah, it is a tape, and if you read the comments, a lot of people figured out. Okay. A lot of people figured out because, you know, people that was in Houston at the time, they know who was a little loose.
But that's not even scratching the surface of the entire situation. According to murmurs that have been slowly gaining traction in certain circles, Beyoncé's name is expected to be mentioned quite extensively in the legal proceedings involving Diddy. It's anticipated that the prosecution will disclose numerous details, including but not limited to her supposed participation in so-called freak-off gatherings, her level of awareness about Cassie's situation, her alleged knowledge concerning young women being transported across international lines, and how Jay-Z supposedly took steps to conceal their dubious escapades. All of it. People are saying things like, "Sean Carter, you're a disgrace." And as if being accused of engaging in exploitative conduct wasn't already extreme, it's also being suggested that he aimed to symbolically strip every authentic street figure in Houston of their dignity. Furthermore, from what I've been hearing, Beyoncé's reportedly provocative and daring history is about to be brought out in the open and scrutinized thoroughly. She was reportedly trained at the highly regarded Berklee College of Music and was hand-selected by my esteemed acquaintance, Dr. Terry Lyne Carrington, who meticulously assembled Beyoncé's all-female band, an initiative originally proposed by Matthew Knowles, since he apparently struggled to get Beyoncé to cease engaging with certain individuals. Seems like he didn't really understand his daughter after all.
Berklee, esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyoncé's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyoncé to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough, because she just started all the girls.
After all. Interview 142. To one talk, and essentially, the ongoing sentiment among many is that there's no conceivable way that Beyoncé and Jay-Z could maintain a decades-long close relationship. With Diddy engaging in business ventures together, attending intimate gatherings, bonding with his family, sharing multiple vacations, and maintaining countless professional associations, without either being directly involved or at the very least aware of the unlawful and off-the-books activities that Diddy is now being prosecuted for. So, it honestly wouldn't be shocking in the slightest if both Jay-Z and Beyoncé end up being summoned to testify. And although the prosecution will likely zero in on Diddy's connection to the Carters, these kinds of trials often end up digging up seemingly unrelated secrets in order to form a broader picture. In Beyoncé's case, I've heard from reliable chatter that the prosecution plans to portray her as one of the women who was moved across national boundaries. And to support that angle, they'll need to unpack Beyoncé's allegedly murky personal history, everything from the actual age she began seeing Jay-Z to the private, adult-themed events she's believed to have participated in, akin to the infamous freak-off parties. That's where the connection to the alleged recording involving Pimp comes into focus. Just to offer some historical context, back in the early 90s, Pimp C signed with Jive Records in 1992 as one half of the rap duo UGK alongside Bun B. Their first major label release was Too Hard to Swallow. They followed that up with the albums Super Tight in 1994 and Ridin' Dirty in 1996, both of which made it onto the Billboard 200 chart. UGK gained national acclaim in 2000 when they were featured on Jay-Z's hit record Big Pimpin', which climbed to number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100 and secured the top spot on the Rhythmic Top 40 chart. After that, the group went on a break during the early 2000s, with both artists pursuing individual careers. Tragically, on Jay-Z's birthday in December 2007, Pimp C was discovered deceased in his hotel suite. A medical examiner's report concluded that his death was caused by a combination of excessive consumption of lean and complications related to his pre-existing sleep apnea. As for what exactly transpired, Pimp C had been staying at the Mondrian Hotel located in West Hollywood, California, while actively working on fresh music and performing alongside Too Short. On the morning of December 4, 2007, he was scheduled to catch a flight back home, where his wife and cousin were already at the airport, prepared to welcome him. But when they didn't hear from him that morning, his wife contacted the hotel and requested a welfare check. Reports say that hotel staff found Pimp C unresponsive in his room, and emergency responders officially pronounced him dead shortly afterward. Now, here's where things start to get eerie. DJ Paul of 3-6 Mafia said that Pimp's manager described the body as being in a posture similar to prayer, surrounded by blood, suggesting that he may have been struck in the head. Yet, no definitive conclusion was reached, as blood was allegedly all over. DJ Paul mentioned that Pimp was found kneeling in a prayer-like stance, with candles burned all the way down, implying he'd likely been deceased for about a day, since lighting candles was part of his sleep routine. Even Too Short chimed in during a conversation with Hip Hop DX, saying he still hasn't come to terms with the odd details of Pimp's death. I can't believe it's been 10 years, and to this day, I still haven't accepted the circumstances. A lot of these mysterious celebrity deaths in hotel rooms always seem to involve them being alone in some offbeat location. He questioned aloud what's really going on behind the scenes with famous figures and hotel settings. He even referenced the 27 Club and expressed suspicion in a Vlad TV interview, saying the story just never made sense to him.
It's like, I heard some shit about he has clothes on or something. I don't know. Like, I don't really know if all this is true, but I just heard parts like, I'm like, what happened to my guy?
Right.
And then they come out with the official. It was a mixture of some stuff, the prescription and something else or something that I don't really know. But with me, I never really heard something that would give that closure for me. I never really heard anything tangible or true, like what happened to me.
Now let's dig into the alleged link between Pimp and Beyonce, because this particular narrative gets deep, really deep. Numerous stories have circulated suggesting that Jay-Z may have played a role in silencing Pimp permanently due to some kind of entanglement involving Beyonce. Even setting that aside, one undeniable fact is that Pimp C never cared for Jay-Z. This sentiment was made clear during an episode of The Art of Dialogue, where music executive Greg Taylor recounted an awkward phone conversation involving Jay-Z and Pimp. Apparently, right after the deal was inked for UGK to feature on Big Pimpin', Jay-Z called Pimp C, putting the call on speaker, and Pimp straight up insulted him.
Go meet with Dame Dad. So we go after I leave Java, go to Rock to the Rock. As soon as I sit down there, Dame Dash opened up his checkbook, cut a check for $1 million. I'm like, whoa. He like, I was like, is this for sure? He was like, nah. He said, we want to with UGK. I was like, what? He's like, we want to with your boys. That's right. So I immediately picked up the phone and called Pimp C, because all I was trying to get was 100,000. When Dame cut that $1 million, I called Pimp on the phone like, yo, Pimp, and him and Jamal was in the house. And I could hear a tussle or some type of confrontation, right? And I'm like, calm down, bro. Y'all calm down, Pimp.
I ran up the cable bill.
They was fighting. Okay, they was fighting like hard. And I'm like, Pimp, stop whatever you doing right now. I told you what's going down with Jamal when you moved him up in there. I said, but right now, I got $1 million check for you. All we want was 100,000. I was just like, who is that with? I said, with Rockefeller. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm watching Dan with the checkbook, he writing it out. He was like, ain't that with, over there with Jay-Z? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, tell him to take that check and go give it to Tupac Mama, man. He's gonna be stealing all my shit. I was like, what?
Pimp C outright refused a $1 million payment from Jay-Z's label, expressing distrust that the label would treat him fairly. He even said they should donate the money to Tupac's mother. That begs the question, What's the deeper connection between Jay-Z and Tupac that prompted such a statement? What's clear is that Pimp wasn't interested in playing politics within the industry. He spoke out boldly, regardless of the consequences, and called out everyone, whether it was Diddy, Jay-Z, or anyone else. We all know that major players in the music world, particularly people like Diddy and Jay-Z, tend to resent individuals who loudly speak uncomfortable truths. Now add to that the rumor that Pimp was romantically involved with Beyoncé and even recorded their time together. If that doesn't seem like motive for silencing someone, what does? Regarding that rumored connection, Bun B once narrated an incident where they were working in the studio with Beyoncé while Pimp C was present. Jay-Z apparently phoned the studio to inquire who was in attendance, and when told Beyoncé was wearing a revealing outfit, he allegedly demanded that all the men, especially Pimp, exit the premises immediately.
He's like, wait a minute, how many dudes are there? And so she's like, oh, it's about 9 or 10 guys, I guess, over there. Where are they now? They're in here, they're in the soundstage, they're kind of watching, watching her film. What is she wearing? They describe the outfit, and he's like, yo, clear the room.
Wow.
So they immediately come over to us, and they kick all of us out, send us up to our dressing rooms.
Wow.
And we're told to stay there until we have to shoot.
Okay.
We're not allowed to watch Beyonce dance anymore.
B further shared that Matthew Knowles, Beyoncé's father, once approached Pimp C privately and asked him not to get involved with his daughter. After the brief chat, Pimp returned to the group laughing hysterically, saying, "Yo, Matthew Knowles just begged me not to mess with his daughter." This anecdote is just one example of the potentially damaging stories from Beyoncé's past that could come up if she ends up taking the witness stand. Moreover, it's already being said that she's been mentioned on multiple occasions in connection with this case. There have even been reports that Cassie implicated both Jay-Z and Beyoncé in her initial legal complaint. The original lawsuit was allegedly around 60 pages long, but later condensed to about 35. In the portions that were omitted, Cassie supposedly went into considerable detail regarding both Jay-Z and Beyoncé. According to these removed segments, Jay-Z and Beyoncé were reportedly witnesses when Diddy assaulted Cassie, allegedly pushing her to the floor during a party. It's said that after seeing this happen, Cassie ran upstairs and locked herself in a room. Security eventually located her, and she spent over half an hour pulling herself together. When she finally re-emerged, Beyoncé and Jessica Alba were waiting near the foyer to console her. Cassie claimed that Beyoncé appeared furious and, upon seeing Diddy and Jay-Z approaching, screamed at Diddy, calling his behavior vile and inexcusable. Diddy allegedly dropped to his knees and begged forgiveness from Cassie, Beyoncé, and Jessica. Beyoncé reportedly was also furious with Jay-Z and questioned why he comforted Diddy instead of holding him accountable. She even said her respect for Jay-Z was fading. After that incident, Cassie, Beyoncé, Jessica, and about 24 other guests reportedly left the party. Cassie opted to leave with Jessica's entourage rather than Beyoncé's, fearing Diddy. Would track her due to his ties with Jay-Z. Also recall when Jaguar Wright accused Jay-Z and Beyoncé of being a disturbing couple who allegedly detained individuals against their will, drugging them and flying them to other countries for unlawful purposes. Interview.
Victims potentially, do you think there could be?
Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. And everyone knows it. The wiretapping of the phones, putting AirTag on children during visits. These are normal practices that these people do.
Isn't that eerily similar to what Diddy is being accused of right now? In addition, rumors continue to swirl, suggesting that Beyoncé was an active participant in those freak-off events. So, as I mentioned earlier, the connections, alleged or otherwise, between Diddy and the Carters are numerous. The more important question now is, did Jay-Z play a role in Pimp's demise? While no concrete evidence has surfaced, the suspicions never truly faded. Could all of this come to light because of Diddy's unfolding drama? Absolutely. because once one domino falls, it could potentially bring down the entire tower. Honestly, I don't think Beyoncé and Jay-Z will manage to keep their own skeletons hidden if they are called to testify. But what do you think? Could they possibly avoid this reckoning? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.